Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this Zoom broadcast reaches you. We welcome you. And tonight we have the Poet Spotlight on Brian Darnell. And we are going to take turns reading. And I think Tim has a couple of songs. You can hear Kippy scratching. My dog, but it's a pleasure, and I'm going to let Noreen start with some poetry, if you will.
I would be happy to. Thank you. This is Untapped Reservoir. When I had nothing better to do, nothing else going on, I would reach out to the Lord of the universe, little old me. And of course, when troubles arose, I was always right there tugging at his coat, just in case it was true. One day, down a lonely path, through a flurry of leaves, I saw him ahead of me, plainly beckoning, inviting me to his house for tea. If you're not too busy, he said, if you've nothing better to do. Tears held back a lifetime, wet my cheeks, the sleeves of my coat, cleansing rivers coming from the broken, untapped reservoir within my chest. O child of God, wherever fate takes you, never forget the mercy of the Lord of mercy. Say Papa. You're muted, Gayle.
Why don't you do about 3, and then I'll do 3.
Oh, okay, that sounds
great.
And
then we'll just go around.
All right.
Take turns.
Perfect. This is absolute faith. Such was the faith of Callion that he fetched a lantern when told by his master it was pitch dark in the noonday sun. A figure Mayhair used to show his lovers the inordinate faith required to reach the culmination, the consummation. Not only faith in his every word and deed as the infallible Christ, not only faith in his avowal that our perceived world is without substance or menace, but also the monumental faith necessary to accept without proof that we are not our limited, frightened, lifelong, apparent selves, but him, God the infinite, the omnipotent, eternal one. O child, to reach God, you must turn away from every concept you ever thought was true. And this is Become the Sought. Fool that I am, I have searched for you all these years, the one who is everywhere and in everything. I'm not sure what I'm seeking, but you've given it a name, Meher Baba. I suppose I'm nearer the goal after all this time. I've no way to gauge the distance. You didn't come to teach, and I've learned nothing of consequence. Either I am you or your creature, or somehow both, and I'll end up with you some lifetime or another, or not. You might never be mine, but just the same I belong to you. I may be a fool, but I'm your fool, hoping to die with your name on my lips. O child of God, Mayhair said, stop seeking and become the sought. Say Baba. Those are my 3.
Who's next?
You're still muted, Gayle.
Thank you, Noreen. Nice selections, beautifully read. I'm going to do 3 poems, and just to let those who have joined us know, everybody's going to get a chance to read 3 poems, and then we'll just go around and around and enjoy our time reading Brian Darnell. This is from The Garden of Surrender and Divine Poems to the Divine Beloved, Beautiful Birds. Oh, beloved, you bathed the feet of lepers, rinsing away centuries of accumulated dirt. Then You touched your holy forehead to their distended stumps. Beautiful birds in ugly cages, you called them. Only you could see their true beauty. In the years I have been with you, O beloved, parts of me have atrophied and fallen away. Through the eyes of the world, I now seem disfigured, crippled, and useless. I am a beggar at your door, desperate to remain in your good graces. I am slowly dying, one appurtenance at a time. O beloved, let the beautiful flame of a bird within me sing fervently among these ruins. Let me serenade you as the cage that entraps me cracks and rusts away. O child of God, rejoice within your ugly cage. Your beloved is that beautiful bird that flares and sings brightly within you. Forefinger and thumb. Oh, beloved, every time I think I am firmly on the path, you shake the ground out from under me. When I find a patch of half-truth to stand on, you devise a way to push me over the edge. I cry out, I am falling. Fall, you answer. That is what I want you to do. Learn to live empty-handed, utterly helpless. There's not 1 inch of holy ground in this world upon which to stand. You want me to fall, holding on to nothing? Only me, you answer. Hold on to me. Oh, beloved, what have I to do in all of existence but fall into your arms? And yet I grasp at every straw that might prevent it. Oh, child of God, pray for the day your whole world will fit inside the perfect circle made by his forefinger and thumb. And still reading from Garden of Surrender. Another garland. Oh, beloved, today I wandered through a library. So many books, so many words, so many people with something they believe important to say. Like a garden of roses, most will only last a season. Even the ones centuries old, who will read them in 1,000 years? Oh, beloved, 1,000 years to you is but a single rose, a bloom in the infinity of time. How humbling your gift of these guzzles. I am passing that gift on to others, and thus offering it most reverently back to you. These are messages hidden. There are messages hidden within these poems. You will see that they are delivered in perfect time to the proper address. O child of God, Meher Baba has given you a book of guzzles, another garland for your beloved, while the roses are yet fragrant and green. And now, Betty, would you like to be next?
Sure. All right. This one is called Cheap Imitation. On stage you appeared, gesturing profundities, dramatic in your flowing gown and hair, the silent center of the whole production. Curtains fell, and the actor emerged from under spirit gum and costume, makeup and wig. But his bearing and authority had been yours, his gestures and movements stolen from your matchless beauty. Oh, beloved, how often does my ego make itself up, a cheap imitation of Meher Baba, strutting the stage in your righteous, humble coat, finger pointing, glad handing, judging others and myself, while underneath a sweating impostor labors for his own amusement and gratification. Curtains fall. I'm alone again on stage with my awkward posturing, my ceaseless hypocrisy. O child of God, accept the egocentric nature of your being. Even the righteousness you don is tainted by the false self. Okay, this one is called In the Upper Room. Everyone is a pirate looking for the same buried chest, and my beloved knows where it is. From a garland draping his neck, from a garland draping his neck hangs the key. Saints know him. They've broken bread in the upper room. Sinners have met him on the threshold of despair. Saint and sinner digging up their own landscapes looking for the same treasure. Derelict and businessman begging for the same crust of bread. Bureaucrat and anarchist, John and whore, ascetic and profligate, pacifist and soldier, their hearts fire the same. The key glints and dangles from my beloved's neck. Asked about it, he smiles but does not speak. O child of God, stay close to your beloved. He holds the key to the mystery. One more. Wild Goose. I once had a future. I gave it up to pursue the ghost of love. Your fault, my dear. You're the wild goose I chase. What's to be done when a flirtation becomes an obsession? Pray for me, people of the world, from your various rows and pews, prayer rugs and tatamis. I'm lost data that can't be retrieved. Oh, beloved, you know my complaints are just love patter to draw your ear closer to my hungry lips. O child of God, remembrance is a method of liberation. You can't seem to get the beloved out of your head. Jai Baba. Who's next?
Ah, it's so fun to see what people pick. And the cool thing is there's not a bad one in the bunch. Shelley, would you like to read 3?
I'm going to read one at a time. I will be happy to read 3 or even more, but for me, I need to do it only one at a time. This one is called Journey of Constant Failures. Is this a straitjacket or swaddling clothes? The fruit immature or rotten to the core? This journey of constant failures, a teaching story or a grinding wheel? Should I try leaping across the river or kneel on the bank and pray for angel wings? Abraham whispered to his son, I am an instrument. I don't know where my hands end and God's begin. Suppose Isaac answered, everyone lives and dies by the hand of God. How fortunate if my last glimpse of this world is the light in my Father's eyes, the light in the eyes of love's perfect slave. Both under the knife, we have placed whatever we are on our Father's offering stone. Let us help each other now keep our appointments, trusting to the benevolence of that which is approachable only by dissolution, sacrifice, and utter surrender. O child of God, how did you ever come to the notion that your life and death belong to you? Jai Baba.
You want to savor them all. Thank you. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Diane, do you want to participate by listening, or do you have poems to read?
You know, I'm working right now, so, you know, I'm a huge Brian Darnell. I mean, if I know it's a small group, but I could definitely come up with one if you'd like.
Sure. You want
All
to
right,
you want
so
to have time?
Yeah, how about if I raise my hand?
Okay, that'll be great.
Thank you
That'll
so
be great.
much.
Sure. Tim.
Okay, how about if I read one and sing a song?
Fabulous.
And this is appropriate for me to read because the title is Old Age. I don't hear well these days. Can't quite follow the flow of conversation. Yet, clear as a bell, the friend's voice sounds within me. I get facts confused, assumptions proven wrong, but my relationship to him is ever more precise and certain. Repeat myself? Yes, often. And repeat his name more and more. Forgetful of the past and present? Yes, but I remember him now habitually. And as my eyesight dims, my focus upon him sharpens. The distance from our ultimate union I know not, but I find continual evidence of God's existence in this illusory realm here and now. And when I soon leave it, for yet another respite, oh, what peace I will take with me to the grave. O child of God, you've found the friend. Each day he brings you nearer to the journey's end. Jai Baba. They all pack a punch, don't they? Wow. You're my sole comfort. There's no one like you. You're my sole comfort. You know just what to do. If the world turns against me, I know you'll stay true. You're my soul. You're my sole comfort. You're my sole comfort. And there's nobody else. You're my sole comfort. When I cry out for help, while the others forsake me till there's nobody left, you're my soul. You're my sole comfort. And you come to me with your arms open wide, and you dry up all my tears, and you bring to me such a healing inside. You take away my pain and my fear. You're my sole comfort. You're my only relief. You're my sole comfort. In the midst of my grief, when the world is a threat to my faith and belief, you're my soul. You're my sole comfort. And you come to me in your mercy and grace, and you prove to be my true friend, and you shelter me in your holy embrace, my every heartbreak to mend. You're my sole comfort. Whenever I'm in need, you're my sole comfort. Oh, what a friend indeed. And I'll follow you now, wherever you might lead. You're my soul. You're my soul comfort. You're my soul comfort. Nobody but you. Nobody but you. You're my soul comfort. Jai Baba.
Oh, Gayle, you're muted. You're muted, Gayle.
Poems are great, but music is divine. They're all
That's right.
outstanding. How about Shelley next?
Okay. 1 second, folks. Okay. This is The Garden of Surrender. It's the title one from the book. There remains a question within the heart until by grace the beloved one answers, yes. Christ roamed again this inhospitable earth. Can he survive the remote regions of your heart? Fly home, lovers of God, like an arrowhead of geese on the blue horizon. Let this river of illusion flow through empty hands. There's only one hand to grasp. Let him lead you through the beautiful gardens of surrender, where all your heroes have walked before, waiting for you now with open arms. O child of God, will you enter the garden or choose to linger a few thousand lifetimes more? Jai Baba.
Thank you. How about we circle back to Noreen?
This one is The Burden of Love. Oh, beloved, you said God is love. Before I met you, I had trouble believing in God. You know the story. How can God exist with so much suffering in the world, so much cruelty and injustice, with death separating us all in the end? But after many years with you, my question is, how can there not be a God with so much suffering, injustice, cruelty, and death? How can there not be a God to ultimately balance the scales of justice, to restore love and mercy, to reunite us with all the loved ones we have innocently lost? The doubters say religion is a crust. The doubters say religion is a crutch. But I ask them, who do you know who is not crippled? Show me one heart that has not borne the burden of love. O compassionate Father, I believe in the eternal because you became flesh. When the body of Zarathustra was discarded, you entered the sacred flame. After Rama and Krishna, you blended into the totality of existence. At the appointed hour, Buddha ate the mushrooms and disappeared into nothingness. Muhammad flew to paradise. Jesus ascended into heaven. This time, as Meher Baba, you dropped your perfect body only to reappear within the human heart. How much closer to us has this incarnation brought you? O child of God, Jesus is not hiding somewhere behind the moon. His sandals can be found outside the door of every humble heart. This is by his grace. Imagine moving through this realm with the love of Christ in you. Fear and sorrow never to gain a foothold. Malice nor evil to overtake. No misgivings, just a preternatural joy, the peace which passes all understanding, tempered, if any at all, by a loving kindness of such proportions that all boundaries dissolve into the ether. Surrender is when God changes you into him, you and the Christ in you, moving then through the world being yet again overcome. O child of God, write what is in your heart. Anything is possible by His grace. And this is an effortless endeavor. Seekers of God were drawn to you early on, prepared to overcome every obstacle to liberation. They begged you to instruct them in the way, to speak into their ears the word of words. You entered the Jopti one evening, emerged wordless for the rest of your life. Your fingers spoke, at everyone's insistence, of love, obedience, and surrender. Love, not the least bit amenable to force or will. Obedience, mere disciplined ambition unless prompted by a guileless heart. Surrender, a letting go, a giving up of all hope and desires, low and high. Love, obedience, surrender, each an effortless endeavor dependent upon the Master's grace. Erich proposed determination, not quite effort, but something to do while waiting for the buds to unlimber, the fruit to soften, the wine to ferment in its ancient wooden casks. O child of God, embrace the process. It is that to which we must surrender. Jai Baba.
Thank you, Noreen. Wow, this is fun. Shelley, you're up next, and then Diane.
Okay. Okay. This is, excuse me, the garden long abandoned. I seem to be on a biblical theme tonight. Adam and Eve embraced in God's eternal moment. Then I'm going to start this again. Adam and Eve embraced in God's eternal moment. Then somehow their serpentine selves whispered into the uncritical, unaccustomed ear of each other duplicity and desire. And the garden they left for the wilds, their preferred being a sad facsimile of autonomy over their fresh-faced obedience to the unfolding, indiscriminate revelations of their Creator. The garden remains for us today to discover, the eternal moment of ever-accessible, apparently, invited to roam the verdant grounds of submission within its whitened, sharp-faced pales. O child of God, the garden long abandoned draws you irresistibly down the path towards home. Jai Baba.
These are just thrilling and enjoyable. Diane, your turn.
Has anybody read Where the Day Will Take Us?
Nope.
Okay. Where the Day Will Take Us. Harder each year becomes the routine, folding and unfolding myself. Reach, stretch, bend and arch. Harder still to flex that, not the body, pertaining to me, to keep it vital, generous and receptive. Jesus said, become as a little child when I went about, where the day would take me, shedding a life in time of hierarchical impositions, exploring the outposts and wild, purlious, nameless and unruly, heroic and detached. It's not that unmarked tablet, lost on the way to school, we must recover, but our flexibility, our susceptibility slipping out of our tendencies, our utterly crushing context, young and vigorous, blithesome and nimble, adventuresome, deep in our bones, as we go about exploring the vast godly parts of where the day will take us. O child of God, are your own arrangements superior to your Father's intentions? Jai Baba.
Oh, what a what a good one. Okay, we're gonna go back to Shelley, and then I'll take a turn.
I think, can you come back to me if that's okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, just raise your hand when you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Chains of gratitude. When I refused to beg the world anymore, you heard my silence, invited me to your table, knowing how long I'd gone without sustenance. When I hesitated outside, you dispatched servants with trays of food and the first taste of your wine. Oh, Redeemer, how could I not devote the rest of my life to you? Enchanted and enthralled by your companionship, your bread and wine, these are shackles. These are the shackles you slipped onto my feet. Chains of gratitude. Merciful Redeemer, I am your slave. O child of God, hunger and thirst led you to the beloved. Pray your gratitude is forged by his fire into divine love. And that was from A Jewel in the Dust, and I'm reading now from that book. A thorough soaking. All day long, people talk to me, but there's seldom poetry on anyone's lips. Oh, I read this already tonight. Whoops. Worthless paperwork. There's a dusty vault, the combination long lost. Only your ear to the surface, fingertips on the dial can decipher the code. Tumblers click into place. The huge door swings open to fresh air and sunlight. The thief takes his plunder. Let this vault become my tomb. Torch and bury the ashes of old ledgers, cancel checks, contracts, titles, and deeds. Those are ghostly images saved for leverage and deceit. Seal the door of this vault upon the remains of my old calculated life. Then sail it out and sink it into your shoreless center of your ageless sea. O child of God, trade your worthless paperwork for the promised pearl of infinite worth. And let's see. Both sides. Remember me, you say. I used to beg you to drop a coin into my cup, something to remember you by. A vision, a kiss, a drop of wine. None of that these days. These days, both sides of the coin bear your face. Silence, valuable when you were in the body. Should I not consider it valuable now? You may receive nothing from me, you say, and that nothing may prove to be everything. O child of God, whatever your master does or doesn't do is of the highest benefit to all concerned. And let's see, how about Shelley next? And then Betty.
Okay, this one is titled The Mercy of His Court, and it's from the book Sadhana. If you're sure of anything in this world, O child, be sure you are mistaken. When you feel yourself hardening into one position, take the necessary steps to remove yourself from that easy overlook. Talk yourself down from the heights to the dust view of God. God being not up in heaven, but in the fields doing his spade and hoe work, seeing everything in his omniscience, at every moment, from everywhere. To draw nearer to that truth, O child, and to him, concede in every judgment your ignorance and incapacity. Throw yourself and everyone in your ken upon the celebrated mercy of his court. O child of God, the least proud thought, Meher says, veils you from reality. Jai Baba.
Thank you so much. And Betty. Yeah, go ahead, Betty. You may,
Okay.
if, yeah.
Tidying up. You turned up at my door, let yourself in, your whole entourage making themselves at home. Every light in the house switched on, wine flowing, bodies dancing, floorboards a-tremble, rooms brimming with the scent of sweat, the music of laughter. I led the group in the hokey pokey, wearing my lampshade like a crown. But later, when the music died, I began tidying up, shooing people out, turning off lights. The celebration drifted outside. You lingered on the divan as I collected the wine glasses, talking over my shoulder, getting the house in order. When I turned, you were gone. Near the open gate, you told me again how dear the visit had been and how much you loved me. Had you meant to stay or invite me along? You were down the road, fading wordlessly into a distant gray dawn. O child of God, your beloved is patiently waiting for the day you love him as much as he loves you. Let's see. This one is utter stillness. I have always adopted in this human dilemma the rational approach, but secretly I long for a love that makes no sense. My every motive is self-preservation, while my heart's wings propel me inexorably toward oblivion. Let those royal falcons build their nests in the cliffs and crags of your holy mountain. I want only to throw myself over the edge. Let them haunt the rugged peaks. My fate is farther down the slope where your ocean swallows me. Below that rugged exterior lie the quiet disintegration and utter stillness I crave. O child of God, your longing is romantic and self-serving. When will you see yourself as you really are? And one more. Constant whispering. The follower of a different Baba suggests I need the guidance of a living master. How to explain you are life itself? His eyes see the physical. He listens only with his ears. As he walks the delicate path of his karma, and I walk mine. You are holding both our hands. Your constant whisperings, most intimate and precious, indefatigable companion, in our ears and eyes, under our skin, in the taste of our mouth, the blood of our veins. O child of God, you know because he promises. The living one resides eternally within and without. Jai Baba.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Aren't they?
And Tim's up.
That last line, within and without, reminds me of George Harrison's classic song from the Sgt. Pepper album, Within You and Without You. It's he was a spiritual Beatle. Okay, I'm always amazed at Brian's soul-bearing tenor of his poetry and his songs, and this is one of them. This is I'm Not the Man. I guess I learned early on how to stay protected. Build a wall around myself, let nobody through. By the gift and debt of love, remain unaffected. Thank God for the loneliness that leads to you. Low desires and deep regrets in a constant turning. My mistress was the world, she proved to be untrue. Through corruption and deceit, I saw your pure flame burning. Thank God for the sinfulness that leads to you. I'm not the man that I used to be. Since you gave your love to me, I don't know who I am. Finding myself is the mystery. Take what you require of me. Show me who I am. Living in your aftermath, feel like a dead man walking. Burned in the fires of love, all I thought was true. Through the ashes and the grief, I hear your true calling. Thank God for the hopelessness that leads to you. I'm not the man that I used to be. Since you shed your grace on me, I don't know who I am. Finding myself is my destiny. Take what you require of me. Show me who I am. Take what you require of me. Show me who I am. Take what you require of me. Show me who I am. Take what you require of me. Show me who I am. Take what you require of me.
Wow.
Jai Baba.
Thank you so much. The music adds, hearing his music just adds so much. So thank you, Tim.
I'm very happy to participate in this manner.
Excellent. Shelley.
Wow, that was great. It is so hard, impossible really, to find a bad Brian Darnell song or poem. We can try, but we won't succeed. This is one of my favorites. It's The Crux of Embrace, and it's from Spoken For. As its fragrance is hidden in the rose, so my presence is hidden in the human heart. Under our noses, Lord, unobserved within ourselves and others, only faith and desire keep us daring the crux of embrace. Yes, the heart gets tipsy at the first nip of your wine, dances in its cage. Deeper in the cup, it grows weepy and ponderous. And when your fire sweeps through, first a searing pain, and then burned rubble, from which to look out sheepishly from the world. But you promised us. You promised your presence every moment, woven into the heart's delicate fabric so pervasively, the rose having never set tender foot beyond its vast domain, goes about wailing and weeping at the absence of its own scent. O child of God, turn from the world's enticements to discover within the fragrance of God. J.
Oh, so enjoyable tonight. It'll be hard to go to sleep. I have to calm down. Just have to calm down. Okay, we're back up with Noreen.
I just love that one, Shelley. That was gorgeous. Are we still doing 3, Gayle?
You may want your choice, however you want to do it.
This is the eternity within. I might have become bitter with age, but my Lord fills me with such sweet wine. From the inside out, he serves me, as the world offers its standard gristle and gall, the generous terms of a surrender which seems, surprisingly, more and more an intensely shared bond of triumph and liberation. When the divine companion whispers to you, it makes no difference what is said. Whether you make out the words or not, it matters not what he asks of you, nor whether you are prepared to obey. It is the hearing of a lifetime deaf and unfeeling heart, the slow turning of yourself around to see God coming, not from anywhere above or beyond, but from the eternity within you. O child of God, again and again his words strike home. We are not we, but one. And this is Off Camera. Where I come from, you're called the man upstairs. But you descended more than once into the parlor because you wanted to be with us, not as angels flitting about heaven, but down in the game, in the nitty-gritty. We can't get to you, so you come to where we are. Love does that. The first gesture of yours I deciphered was in a film. You asked someone off camera, "Did you sleep well?" One day, in some unimaginable way, I'll stand before you and you'll make the same gesture. "Did you sleep well?" And I will answer, "Oh, Baba, let me tell you about the dream I had." Oh, child of God, pine for that moment of union. Awakened, reunited at this long game's end. And one more. Oh, Knowledge of the Heart. This is the first poem I ever heard Brian read, and it really touched me. There are deeper truths, I gather, than the grace of your hands, the light in your eyes, more to grasp than your gown's hem, actions to be taken, vows to uphold beyond mere devotion and remembrance. But whenever the conversation at the table gets too heavy, you give a wink, and we leave the others, taking our wine cups into the garden to view the stars, enjoy the night air, perhaps share a poem or two. There's work to be done, but, Lord, let's save it for another lifetime. While I have you here, if it be your pleasure, let me hold you and hold you and hold you until this weary world and my form within it fades into dust and nothingness. O child of God, you've grown dangerously fond of his wine and that delicious prasad called knowledge of the heart. Say Baba.
Thank you. Thank you. A silence of the eye. Clothed in flesh, you wandered wherever the Spirit led, but held your tongue. 44 years your lovers waited, hands cupped to their ears. Death stilled your hands, turned your tongue to dust, but since then a multitude of lovers has turned up on your doorstep, answering your silent, heartfelt call. Dropping your body was another form of silence, a silence of the eye. Oh, beloved, expose yourself. Let us see you as you really are. O child of God, Mayhair has removed his cloak, moving freely now among us, naked as the wind. As a prayer. I call myself a Baba lover. No one questions my credentials. Lover is such a playful word to roll around on the tongue. Attaching the word lover to his name makes it big enough for anyone to hide behind, except, of course, from his eyes. I was driven into his arms by fear and by a desperate hope, desire for perfection, asylum from pain, lust for power, escape from justice. How do I fit edgewise into that equation? He held me against his chest. He broke me open without one question coming from his immaculate mouth. How do I call myself a Baba lover? As a prayer that one day it might become true. O child of God, shame and regret are but whips and spurs on the difficult path to your beloved's door. And one that I've read recently, but can't help myself, Keyhole. Don't look for poetry from me. This, for instance, is no poem. It's a split-fingered fastball, breaking down and away. I vary my speed and location, give it a different spin. I can't seem to sneak one past you. Over cocktails, I found myself an apologist for God, outflanked by the radical intelligentsia. I tossed the word love into the crowd. They tore it apart like ravenous beasts. I couldn't get anyone to bend their back deeply enough to peek through your keyhole. Not speaking of myself, of course, I'm bent like Muhammad. You crushed any arguments from me years ago, filling my wineskin full to bursting, then sending me down the hill. I'll take your part, the world against me, but I'm often thrown into silence. The best talking points seem to belong to the opposing view. O child of God, argue about God, and love goes out the window. And Shelley's next, and then Betty.
Okay, this is entitled Back to the Garden, and it's from Sadhana. It's one of my favorites also. These are the heart tears tinged with blood. My beloved knows every hidden grief. I try to be strong for you, but we both know how crippled I am. Won't you carry me for a ways, that I might bury my face in your throat? That I might be held, body and soul, nearer to you. Oh, beloved, stay within my sight. Your pink coat, sheer sadra, flowing hair. Keep glancing over your shoulder to make sure I am there, in earshot of your hand clap. My heart, Lord, is yours to range freely until the day the whole realm of my being lies under your chapels. O child of God, the heart is a mountainous country, beautiful valleys to cross. Your beloved walks it with you back to the garden from which you came. Jai Baba.
So lovely. Betty?
Okay. This is a silence of the eye. Clothed in flesh, you wandered wherever the Spirit led, but held your tongue. 44 years your lovers waited, hands cupped over their ears. Death stilled your hands, turned your tongue to dust. But since then, a multitude of lovers has turned up on your doorstep, answering your silent, heartfelt call. Dropping your body was another form of silence, the silence of the eye. Oh, beloved, expose yourself. Let us see you as you really are. O child of God, Meher has removed his cloak, moving freely now among us, naked as the wind. And this is called As a Prayer. I call myself a Baba lover. No one questions my credentials. Lover is such a playful word to roll around on the tongue. Attaching the word lover to his name makes it big enough for anyone to hide behind, except, of course, from his eyes. I was driven into his arms by fear and by a desperate hope, desire for perfection, asylum from pain, lust for power, escape from justice. How do I fit love edgewise into that equation? He held me against his chest. He broke me open, without one question coming from his immaculate mouth. How do I call myself a Baba lover? As a prayer, that it might one day become true. O child of God, shame and regret are but whips and spurs on the difficult path to your beloved's door. Let's see. One hope. Just remembering how lost I was without your navigation. Eagle-eyed one, gripping a blind man's elbow, flailing about in pain, hurting everyone in Cain's reach. You placed a steadying hand upon my shoulder, whispered sweet encouragements in my ear. Confusion became enchantment, blindness an opportunity for intimacy. Some say I'm hellbound following you. If so, I'll find you there and bow at your feet. Even in hell, you'll be my solace. One hope, reason, purpose, direction on this or any other side of death. O child of God, pledge your allegiance to Meher, but don't speak of things you know nothing about.
Terrific, just terrific.
Isn't he, though?
Shelley, looks like you've got another.
You're muted, Shelley.
Sorry about that. Okay. This is In the Thick, and it's from Spoken For, I believe. The nearer you get to God, the more you take him for granted. God becomes a necessary routine, soap to skin, food to belly, the hours allotted for sleep. Daily we remember God, to give him his due, until one day we are shown he's due everything every moment. Then life becomes a prayer. You take it for granted God is there, because it's his life, his due. And where else would God be but deep in the thick of his own self? O child of God, make him the center until he becomes the everything. Jai Baba.
Oh, I like your choices. I like your choices. Next up is Tim.
Okay, this will be my last contribution. It's been a lovely listening session and participating. The emotions that his poetry can elicit is significant. This is my favorite Brian Darnell song. Tonight, Mayher, I'm an empty cup. Let your love pour down and fill me up. A glint in your wine is all I long to be, and to feel your love flowing all around me. Tonight, while the moon is in flight, with the saints gathered above us at incredible heights, while the stars shout your praises with all of their might, let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight, I can hear a celestial band and heavenly music adrift on the wind. The whisper of an angel lets me know you are near. Serenade me tonight with your love song, my dear. Tonight, let the fortress ignite. Shatter all of my windows, throw the doors open wide. Like a ship on your ocean, sinking slowly from sight. Let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight. Tonight I can feel the earth as it spins away from this moment that won't come again. The holy ground below me and the heavens above lift me up tonight on the wings of your love. Tonight, while the moon is in flight, with the saints gathered above us at incredible heights, while the stars shout your praises with all of their might, let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight, let the fortress ignite. Shatter all of my windows, throw the doors open wide. Like a ship on your ocean, sinking slowly from sight. Let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight. Let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight. Let me love you like there's no tomorrow. Tonight. Jai Baba. Whew.
Wow, that was
You can write 'em.
Wow.
You're
Can't hear
muted.
you, Gayle.
Gayle.
You're muted, Gayle.
Thank you, Tim. That was magnificent. That was such a high note to end on. If someone has another poem, you're certainly welcome. But boy, an hour of Brian Darnell will just cure what ails you. I mean, my heart is so happy and I feel rejuvenated. So I'll have to remember that when times get tough, I'll have to remember what can perk me up. Thank you, everyone. I know that others will hear it. And thank you so much for participating. And thank you, Betty, for doing the tech. And we will see you next month at a poetry spotlight. Not sure what yet. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Jai
Baba. Jai Baba.
Avatar. Meher Baba.
Baba.
Ki
Jai.
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 Avatar, Meher Baba,
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Avatar,
Meher
Baba,
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Jai Baba.
Good night, all.
Betty.
Night.